Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about constriction rings, okay? When it's safe to use one, when it's too long to use one, when it's a good idea, what kinds of gains should you expect by trying to use them, especially in the all-day setting. Is this a good idea? Spoiler alert, it's not. So we're going to get into that in just a second, so stay tuned. Hey guys, so this is actually my second take of recording this video. I'm not going to go into too much of the details, but my first version, if you saw it, I included this user's screen name and I said some very not nice things. And though, like, I do maintain what I say, it wasn't cool to put him on blast like that. I'm recording a second version of it, and I tried to apologize to that guy because clearly he was really upset, even though he was trying to act like a tough guy. And as a return, he was, of course, like calling me a clown and saying, "Oh, of course, I don't know anything," and all this stuff. And even after I apologized, he continued to say that, and it really pissed me off, and to the point where I actually briefly put the video back up for a second, but still don't think it was the right thing to do, and I don't think it's a good example to try to, I mean, it was almost kind of like bullying. Anyways, I'm making this video, so let's get into it, guys. So we're talking about using one of these constriction rings, primarily in the all-day setting, and why it's a stupid idea, okay? And this all started because in this video, this guy, he said he did a lot of different techniques over a lot of different years, but one of the things he swears by is wearing one of these all day. And so a lot of guys in the comments, it sparked literally at least 3 or 4 different posts of guys talking about like, "Oh, should I be wearing an all-day constriction ring?" And I'm tired of being like, no, that's a very, very dumb idea. Here are the reasons, so we're going to discuss them, not very briefly, but we're going to briefly discuss them today, okay? So one of the biggest things is that people say, well, it's not tight enough where it causes any problems, but it's just tight enough to cause benefits. I mean, that's asinine. It's like, I don't understand why people, how they can think like that, and how they can think anatomy and physiology can only work a certain way when it's in their favor. If this is tight enough where you're getting any kind of benefit from it, it's tight enough where it's going to cause you problems. What are some of those problems? Well, first of all, you can get something that's called edema. If you're constricting your lymphatic flow and your venous flow, it can cause swelling. The obstruction, rather, can lead to pressure buildup in the veins, causing additional fluid to essentially third space in there. That's what edema is. Sometimes it's an inflammatory reaction. Sometimes it's based on osmosis type properties if there's, some sort of histamine release, etc. But I digress. In general, edema is not a good thing. So if you're putting it on there tight enough where you're getting edema, that's a bad thing because you're obstructing your venous outflow. When you obstruct your venous outflow, there's also papers right here, guys, if you don't believe me, since I'm some hack who doesn't know anything according to one very, very immature. I just feel bad for the guy, honestly. But anyways, you can see that there is venous obstruction, which can lead to blood clotting, okay? I'll read for you a specific example. And guys, I don't want you to believe what I say just because I'm saying it. I'm providing you the references. The references are linked below. Like, if you don't believe me, like, go read for yourself, okay? But here's the quote I'm looking for. So it can lead to decreased venous flow and increasing blood pooling. Venous stasis, meaning the blood stays still, results in increased viscosity, meaning it gets thicker, and the formation of microthrombi or blood clots, which may be caused by anything that slows or obstructs the flow of venous blood, aka one of these bad boys, okay? Like, you are literally, if you're putting one of those on, it does not take much to obstruct your vein and to minimize that flow. So if you're putting one of those on, you're putting yourself at risk of having a literal blood clot in your penis, guys. And that could be an emergency depending on whether it's one of the superficial or deeper ones that can actually cause problems. Even if it is superficial, you might have to literally have surgery to get that, like, thrombi removed, okay? It's called a thrombectomy. So that is not a good thing, guys. If you are wearing it, even there's been some people that, for the most part have backed away from this that say like, oh, you should wear one after pumping, okay? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't wear one after pumping. The main reason for this is when you're pumping or clamping, you're obstructing your lymphatic outflow as well. Some people say, oh, if you pump and then put one on, afterwards, it just traps that third spaced fluid, that edema in there. So it's not even giving you a real gains. It's not like it's causing your chambers to stay more engorged. It's just trapping that third spaced fluid in there. Like, yes, there will be some mild chamber enlargement, okay? But for the most part, it's just trapping that superficial fluid that's in the tissue surrounding your penis. And so by obstructing those lymphatic channels and keeping that edema in there, you're putting yourself at risk of lymphangiosclerosis, guys. I'll have my editor kind of put that in so you can see the word as I'm saying it. but I made videos on it before. It's called like the most misdiagnosis, because people are starting to wise up about it, but still don't really know about it. But that is a big cosmetic issue and can lead to problems long term if you have uncorrected lymphangiosclerosis, guys. So you don't want that. And obstructing your lymphatic channels with the C-ring is going to do that, okay? And finally, you can have even like really bad problems with this, guys. So if you put one of these on at night and it's not that tight, and then you get a nocturnal erection, it can trap that blood in there. If it traps the blood in there, I'll put up this paper here where there's literally guys that have like put their junks in smaller items, like some of them even in the top of a bottle cap, and then they start engorging with blood. And because that thing is wrapped around their junk, it literally traps the blood in there. That's enough to obstruct arterial blood flow and lead to something that we call ischemia, okay? Or basically deoxygenated blood, deoxygenated tissue. If that happens, you can literally have something called fibrosis. It's a main reason why, you know, like in this paper here, they recommend you don't wear any kind of constriction device for more than about 30 minutes. And that's what the data says. After 30 minutes, you can actually see changes in the blood gas. You can actually see like carbon dioxide levels rising in the blood, indicative of damage starting to occur in the tissue, especially in the penile tissue, guys. They've actually done studies where they have injected a needle into the penile tissue at this time, retracted it, and actually studied it to see if those markers are there, and they're there. So if you put on a C-ring at night, you're sleeping, you get a nocturnal erection, you can trap that blood in there, and you can have a priapismic state or a prolonged erection state, which can be damaging and cause permanent fibrosis, or basically scarring down of the penile tissue. And I'll put the screenshot of the paper right here showing that these different guys that have caused these major damages to their member that require surgery to fix because they've used constriction rings for too long. It's just a very, very dumb idea, and I'm asking that none of you all do that. It is not going to lead to any enlargement of your member, okay? It is not. It's just going to put you at risk and put you and give you some like temporary gains. And so if you're going out to a nude beach or something, or you know you're walking around in your gray sweatpants and you want to feel like the man, and you want to put a C-ring on and you know trap some blood in there and get a little bit of edema and walk around and think you're the man, you know, like that's a different story, guys. As long as you're doing it for less than 30 minutes, I have no problem with that. But I think anything longer than that, I think you're putting yourself at risk. This is my opinion. If you listen to that guy, I'm a freaking idiot. I don't know anything, and it's perfectly fine, and I don't know anything about anything. But this is just my opinion. You guys are obviously here on my channel listening to what I have to say. I provide to you the medical data. Don't just listen to me, guys. Do your own research and see if what I'm saying makes sense, guys. But anyways, I wanted to address that. This is part 2 of the video. I'm not going to upload the other one ever again, and I hope I never come at somebody like that. But man, it's whew. Yeah, anyways, guys, bad idea. If you need to reach me, patreon.com/DocKink. Please sign up for my newsletter below. I'm going to be sending out exclusive access to things like exclusive posts, exclusive access to actually my website coming up soon, and much, much more, including even discounts for products like this. I appreciate you guys watching. Peace and love, guys.